Hi, I'm Sudhama Said. Welcome back to CBSE Board Economics. Today we are discussing new economic policy of 1991. What factors led to new economic policy of 1991? I told you in 1991 the economy was in a very bad condition. There was a lot of fiscal deficit. The country was not able to repay the borrowings to other countries and the World Bank, International Monetary Fund. There was a huge inflation in the economy, and there is a deficit in balance of payments. And there was a huge fiscal deficit that was 16.8%. So this led to the then Finance Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh to bring a new economic policy. Now, today we'll discuss what factors led to 1991 economic crisis. And those were, let's see why there was what factors led to this crisis. The first one is controls and subsidies. In 1991, before 1991, there were so many controls in the economy. That means a license raj. That means it means the government has given permission only to few industrial houses to produce goods and services. Not all the industries, not the economy was open to all the industries. And the controls and huge subsidies were given only to selected few. As a result, the economy was not developing. It's leading to inflation. The production was not too much. So the first point was controls and subsidies. And the second point is inward-looking policy. What exactly is inward-looking policy? That means we're not competing with other countries and import licenses are given only to few industries, and we are not allowing the other countries to come and invest in our economy, to come into competition with our industries. So that was inward-looking policy. Burden of foreign debt. As I told you already, there was a burden of foreign debt. We borrowed so much money from other countries, the country was not able to repay the burden. So that led to the new economic crisis. And the last one, non-development expenditure with the government. Government was spending huge money on defense, law and order. So it led to a big burden. So we repeat once again, what factors led to 1991 economic crisis? Number one, controls and subsidies, which I told you. There were controls on production because of licensing. Not everyone can produce because of the license raj. License permit control raj was bad. There was a raj of preferences, reservations and subsidies. So only few selected industries were given preferences and license were given to them and huge subsidies were given. That led to monopolistic tendencies. So only few people have the monopolistic tendencies. That's the first point. Control and subsidies. I repeat once again. So what factors led to 1991 license economic crisis? Controls and subsidies. The government has given controls, government has given rights, government has given licenses, and government is giving huge subsidies to only a selected few industries. As a result, not everyone can come to produce. Inward-looking policy, the second point. Indian industries were protected with licensing and subsidies and also import tariffs. Indian industries were protected with licensing and subsidies and also import tariffs. So that means the government was not allowing the other foreign countries to come in competition with our industries. So they were happy with only the domestic industries. It discouraged competition and efficiency in the economy. So there was no efficiency, there was no competition with other countries. Burden of foreign debt, that's the third point. Huge foreign debt led to adverse of balance payments positions. There is adverse balance of payments. Foreign debt was there. And the last one, non-development expenditure by the government. There was a fiscal deficit because of increase in defense expenditure, public salary subsidies. A huge expenditure was going in defense, public expenditure, salaries of the government, employees, subsidies, etc. As a result, and these are few important factors that led to crisis, economic crisis. I repeat, what factors led to 1991 economic crisis, controls and subsidies. The government has given license only to few industries, and those industries were given huge subsidies. There was a license dodge. As a result, many industries, even if they wanted to come, they couldn't come. That led to economic crisis. That is so. Inward-looking policy. The government has protection to only the domestic industries. The foreign industries were not allowed to come because of the license dodge, and only inward-looking policy. Burden of foreign debt. The government has borrowed huge money from other countries to meet the expenditure. It led to foreign debt. Fiscal deficit was huge. Non-development expenditure of the government is spending huge money on defense, law and order, and paying the salaries of the government employees, subsidies and all. That led to big burden on the government. So these are some of the factors that led to economic crisis in 1990-91. That's why the government brought in 1990-81 a new economic policy. That's all we have time for this video. Thank you very much.